What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. And you know, I love these mainstream media articles when it comes to analyzing what's wrong with Disney. All the problems that's going on wrong over there with Disney, because they will never, ever acknowledge. They will go out of their way to avoid talking about the elephant in the room, right? They will never actually tell you, oh, you know, it's Disney and the woke messaging and the political propaganda and all of that nonsense being shoved into their entertainment. They will never discuss this giant elephant sitting in the middle of the room. They will talk about everything else in the room, though. They'll talk about, oh, look at over there, the walls ain't the right color, whatever. Oh, you got this little stucco ceiling or whatever. They'll talk about all of that crap. The doorknob is wrong. It's like, yo, there's a big ass elephant sitting in the middle of the room. Don't y'all see it? What about that? Maybe that's the problem. Oh, yeah, the floor needs some mop and glow. Yeah, that's the problem. This floor ain't shining quite the right way. It's like, how you gonna mop and glow around this big-ass elephant, though? I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, come on, guys. These cats will never, ever admit that, yeah, the woke propaganda, the messages have absolutely destroyed entertainment. They won't acknowledge it, because in order to acknowledge that, then you got to say, damn it, the fans were right. The fans weren't as toxic and mean and nasty as we all said they were. The fans knew what the hell they were talking about, and they've completely checked out, okay? The general audience, they no longer come to see Disney. As you can say right here, this is Variety again, making all the excuses in the world. The harsh new reality, costly film flops, creative struggles, and a shrinking global box office. Yeah, now, it's not to say that any of this isn't true. There's some merit to what they're saying, okay? There's some merit to it. Yeah, the walls are a little bit dingy. You might need to slap a coat of paint on the walls. You might need to do a little bit something different when it comes to your international box office. You might need to shine it up with some mop and glow, all right, with these creative problems. But there's a big elephant in the middle of the damn... Look, when you go to a movie or when you're watching a TV show, you're looking to get away from all of that crap, okay? All of that overt political messaging right in your face. You're looking to get away from it. You deal with that all day long anyway. You're listening on the radio, you're watching news, you're talking to people. They're talking about all the problems going on out there in the world, right? And for 2 hours, okay, you come home or you go to a movie and you paid your $15 or your arm and a leg for snacks and drinks, and you just want to say, look, I just want to sit here for 2 hours, get away from transgender rights and the war in Ukraine and progressives versus conservatives. You want to get away from feminism. You want to get away from reparations, all of that crap. BLM, Antifa, blah, blah, blah. You just want to get away from it, okay? You want to sit there and enjoy, yeah. 2 hours of storytelling, baby. Tell me a good story. I'm ready to go. I got my popcorn. I got my drink. Let's get it.
I mean, I know socialism is a charged word, but we could learn a lot from these...
So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you. So all of this just feels like projecting a lot of shit onto me.
For the umpteenth time, our account is still outstanding. Because this country was built on slavery, which means... slaves built this country.
You stole it.
And you stole it.
And I stole it. It's called capitalism.
I'm sorry, sir, you just can't watch a movie or a television show. Put your popcorn down, pick up a pen and pad, and learn something today. Fuck. Anyway, let's just go over this stuff, man. It's just ridiculous. For the past decade, Disney has been the Teflon movie studio, remarkably adept at withstanding the tectonic changes impacting the film industry and well fortified by its arsenal of key properties such as Marvel, Lucasfilm, and Pixar. But this year, the long-reigning titan of the box office has shown cracks as 4 of its biggest releases from those brands and others have struggled in theaters. There was a dispiriting release of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, a rare Marvel movie to likely lose tens of millions in its theatrical run. Now, it's going to be hundreds of millions. At least 100 million for sure. For sure, it's going to lose 100 million, maybe even more. The Little Mermaid, a remake of the 1989 animated classic that fell drastically short of expectations. That's going to lose about $100 million too. Elemental, an original story that tried and failed to recapture Pixar's magic, and most recently, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, a nearly $300 million investment in one of the cinematic's most venerable franchises, which no longer appears to have the same hold on today's audiences. On paper, these films seem like they had all the makings of huge hits, but somehow the Disney sparkle was lacking this time in terms of filling movie theater seats. Yeah, nobody went to see this shit because nobody wanted to see this shit. Okay, they put out a lot of films that nobody was interested in. They gave us a 5th Indiana Jones. I don't know why they thought that was going to work. They gave us a 3rd Ant-Man. I don't know what made them think that Ant-Man was something people wanted to come back to. For them to spend the amount of money, that's really what it is. You see, Disney right now, Hollywood in general, they seem to be kind of at this crossroads where it's like, okay, you're either going to have to make better movies or you're going to really have to severely cut these budgets, because $300 million in one film, that's obscene. That's insane. I don't know how they get away with that. So they got to either cut the budgets or they got to make better films, or maybe do both. You know, if they were smart, they would do that. So then the article goes on to talk about these production budgets, which is a legitimate point, okay? I've been saying that. Like, what's up with these $200 million budgets? It says production budgets of at least $200 million plus marketing of $100 million. So you're talking about a $300 million spend? In order for you to break even, you got to get to $600 million. And no Disney film is getting to that. Now, you can see right here on Box Office Mojo, like, you know, Guardians made it, you know, with 838. But where's the Little Mermaid? 527? It's not going to get there, all right? Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Again, these are films that have already spent well over $200, maybe $250 million on a production budget, plus $100 million for marketing. These films aren't going to make it to $600 million till they can make their money back, okay? You got Elemental sitting down here at $193 million. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy, man. But they're spending $200 million plus another $100 million for marketing. It's ridiculous. It's not sustainable. Okay, so again, that's a legitimate point, but they try to blame it on China. Oh, China's dollars are no longer a guarantee due to tensions with the West and changing tastes. Maybe the changing tastes are they don't like race-swapped Little Mermaids. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I mean, I don't think China's ever changed on that. They've kind of always said, we're not interested in your race swaps and your woke agenda. They had a whole article that they took out in the Global Times about it. All right, you know, they said this is not what we're looking for. Disney, stop doing this, okay? I covered that. I'll link that above if you didn't see that video. But yeah, they say we're not into this. What are you doing? All right. Then they try to blame Russia. Oh, Russia is entirely cut off from Hollywood movies after its invasion of Ukraine. That's a lie. John Wick 4 made $9 million in Russia. See, here's John Wick Chapter 4. We scroll all the way down to the bottom. Russia, yeah, there's Russia. 9 million, 9.7, almost $10 million in Russia. So yeah, it has nothing to do with that. Stop making excuses, all right? And even if you say, oh, well, you know, Disney chose not to send their film over to Russia, you know, because they're standing with the Ukrainians, that's your fault, okay? John Wick said, hey, we sending ours over there. Give us that $10 million. We need that. You know what I'm saying? They said, oh, as a result, the international box office has diminished to a shadow of its former self. Yeah, remember they were saying all of that, like, oh, the Little Mermaid wasn't making money in China, but somehow Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse made way more money in China. So yeah, again, excuses, everything but the elephant in the room. Look, then they try to make excuses for the budget. If you cut costs, do you degrade the quality of the product? I don't know. Why don't you go ask Illumination and Universal? All right, they spent $100 million on the Super Mario Brothers film, and it's cost $1.3 billion. Why don't you go talk to them and see what they've got to say? All right, they didn't seem like anybody thinks of that as a lesser product than Elemental, which spent twice as much money, not even to get 1/10 of that money back. Just come on, y'all. You guys are making excuses for Disney doing bad business, not understanding their fans, not listening to their fans. You're just making excuses for them. If you spend less, do people like the movies you're making less? And how much and how fast can you start cutting? I mean, why are you spending that much money in the beginning? Okay? Maybe you shouldn't worry about cutting. Like, why are we spending all of this money on these films? Are these films really worth $200, $300 million? Wait, what are we doing? Then they go into this point about repeat viewings in theaters. I mean, again, that's a poor Disney model right there. You know, they say, yeah, Endgame, for example, people went to the movie 3, 4, 5 times to watch the epic blockbuster that bid adieu to some of Marvel's biggest heroes. Yeah, now there's less of a need to make multiple trips to the multiplex. So why did people go and see Super Mario Brothers again and again and again? Why did people go see Top Gun Maverick again and again and again? Why did that happen? Okay, Top Gun came out last year. Mario came out this year. How come nobody's again, they don't want to talk about the elephant in the room. Oh, they've woken up their stuff. Okay, nobody wants woke content. They're coming to the movies to chill, relax, and get away from it all. And you're bombarding them with woke. Or you're just making the objectively bad material. Maybe stop making objectively bad material and people will come out to the theaters. Again, they do everything that they can to avoid talking about that big fat elephant sitting in the floor. People have become conditioned to expect that things will quickly appear on Disney Plus. No, that's a lie, okay? Well, why did everybody go and turn Avatar: The Way of Water into a $2 billion film, okay? $2 billion. Were they waiting for it to come on Disney? Oh, you know, they conditioned to wait for it to come on Disney Plus, but they flocked to the theaters in relentless mobs to go and watch this film and turned it into a $2 billion film. And it's a Disney movie. You're just making up excuses, okay? Stop. Top Gun Maverick, people went and saw that in theaters multiple times, okay? Look, then they start lying about it again. Oh, the theatrical movie business has been in decline for a while, and the pandemic accelerated that. Yeah, the pandemic, okay? It was all the pandemic's fault, okay? Blame everything on the pandemic. Everybody's doing their best to put as much of their bad business and their bad policies and everything. Oh, it's the pandemic's fault. It's like your get out of jail free card. Stop it. Super Mario Bros, okay? Avatar: The Way of Water, Top Gun Maverick, all billion-plus films. People went to the theaters to see them, all right? Minions: The Rise of Gru came out last year. That almost did $1 billion, all right? Stop it, okay? You guys are just lying, and you're just covering for Hollywood and for Disney and all of their stupid woke decisions that they keep making. That is not the reason. Stop blaming everything on the pandemic. That excuse gotta go, okay? We are over the pandemic. It has to end. When films start making Spider-Man No Way Home, I almost forgot about that one. Oh, the pandemic is everybody hiding in their houses. No, that's a damn lie, and you know it. Call it out. It's the elephant that you don't want to talk about, but that's the reason. Yeah, Pixar has suffered the most from that mindset, analysts believe. The animation empire has been struggling since the onset of COVID, when several of its titles went directly to Disney Plus and trained family audiences to watch its movies at home. It's re-entering the theatrical ring with the heightened competition in the animation space from Illumination, Super Mario Bros., Minions, DreamWorks Pushing Boots, and then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Again, all of these films, all animated films, okay? Families want to go see good animated films. When you come out there and you start pushing Lightyear and you start pushing Strange World and Elemental, and everybody knows Disney is woke and Disney is just chock full of messages, all right? Everybody understands that. Everybody's calling it out. We've been saying that you're damaging the brand, but Disney don't want to listen to nobody. Okay, so then when everybody says, you know what, screw it, I'm going to watch Super Mario again. All right? I'm going to go watch Minions again. I'm going to watch all of these other films. I'm not watching Elemental. I have no interest in that whatsoever. When you start doing that, and then, oh, well, you know, we trained family audiences to watch its movies at home. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's an excuse. But again, all of these other films, like, yeah, keep making them excuses. Go ahead. All right? We're going to keep making good movies, objectively good movies, and you can just blame it all on the pandemic and Disney Plus and your trained audiences. Go ahead and do that. Let's see how far you get. Pixar is becoming an anemic brand. Yeah, it's woke. Just say woke. That's what it is, okay? Nobody trusts Disney anymore. And look, it says Star Wars 2 has lost its luster in theaters. Why? Why has Star Wars lost its luster in theaters? Star Wars is a theatrical franchise. That is a franchise that began in theaters. It is a film franchise. A lot of these things are comic books or television shows. They're reboots of novels and adaptations and all. No. Star Wars is a film franchise, the biggest film franchise in history. Why is it losing its luster in theaters? I don't know. Maybe there's somebody in charge of Star Wars that's been screwing up over there and doesn't know what they're doing and just recently ruined Indiana Jones. Maybe that's the person that we need to address, okay? Well, Lucasfilm's effort to get another trilogy off the ground has been preceded in fits and starts. Right. So why is that happening? Again, elephant. There's a big elephant right there. We're going to talk around the elephant. Don't talk about the elephant. It mentions all the other Disney problems that it's having, you know. Yeah, Bob Iger took over for Bob Chapek. All right, there's concerns that Disney parks businesses may have alienated customers with its higher prices. A rise in cord cutting imperiled ESPN. Yeah, their share prices are down 7%. Yeah, all kinds of problems. It sounds like a poorly run company, okay? A poorly run company. But from the standpoint of entertainment, it's very simple. It's very simple. And they don't want to talk about it. It's all of the agendas and all of the messages. Their ESG score is probably sky high, all right? But in terms of audience favor, okay, in terms of the audience likes what you're doing, oh, they've absolutely dropped the ball. And nobody wants to call it out. You know, oh, streaming, it's streaming's fault. You know, they'll blame everything, but they'll never talk about that damn elephant. Anyway, folks, what do y'all think about this situation? Again, I didn't go through this article. It's super long, but it's just full of excuses. It's them trying to explain away what's very obvious to the rest of us. All right, the rest of us see it, you know, because we have 20/20 vision when it comes to this stuff, and we know what we like as fans. But when it comes to, like, you know, Variety and Deadline and all of these, you know, mainstream media for entertainment, you know, they always try to run cover for Hollywood instead of just calling it out and saying, hey, look, the fans have rejected your current agenda of woke content. They've rejected it outright. If you don't want to admit to it, fine. Your best bet at this point, Disney, is to just go back to entertaining the fans. Look at all these other films that have come out and all these other shows that have come out and just focused on just entertainment. No message. Just the entertainment, okay? Top Gun, right? Super Mario Brothers. Again, we're not putting any of those agendas or messages in there. We know who our audience is, and we're going to make sure that they're entertained before they get out of the theater. Anyway, folks, what do you guys think about that? Go ahead, jump down, give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.